Okay, Whiteboard Wednesday here. I'm trying to just kind of walk through a little bit of the method behind the madness. And so as I was driving in this morning, a lot of times, you have those crazy ideas. I was actually rocking out to Hindi music this morning. But anyway, so I was thinking about switching up some of the training, the posting on social media. So I want it to be about what I'm working on and giving out some of the thoughts as a kind of a thought leader in my mind. Number one is interview tips for the candidate. What can they be working on? How can people interview better and be able to put their best foot forward? I think we're entering an area where right now I would say in a large part of 2022 it was much more of an employee kind of ruled the day. I think as we look at going into 2023, it's definitely going to be the employer is going to have the upper hand here. And so those candidates that are out there are going to need to be able to make sure that they have very buttoned up interview skills, whether that's on the phone or via Zoom or face-to-face. The next one I want to be able to just share is some different thoughts that I'm going through as a director of recruiting and being able to put forth some different ideas and strategies, things that I'm working on, things that I'm implementing. And this one, for me, from a recruiting process perspective as a director, it's all about discipline and execution. So it doesn't matter how great that playbook is or your process unless you execute on it. So turn that to a Top Talent Tuesday is what we'll do. And then when we look at training development, I'm going to call this Strategies with Sherman. It could be sales related, it could be building of the business, because I still work with the development of the team with our national sales director. So I wanted to be able to do that and share some different thoughts. The last one then is story time. A lot of times this can really resonate with people when it comes to just their story time. And the final one is motivation, because I'm still motivated by some different stories and different quips and ideas. And so I wanted to just share that with people. But that story time would be a way to be able to collect some different data. As I look at a phone call with Sophia over at the Houston Business Journal just the other day, and we're talking about diversity, inclusion, and equality, DEI, right? And so for me, that's not a protocol. It's not an initiative. It's just how we do business, right? So as I look at talent joining our organization, I want to be reflective of my community here in Houston, and as we look at nationwide as well, Miami, New York, Boston, Nashville. Okay, what talent do we want in there? Well, from a cultural perspective, but maybe even from a skill set perspective on the language side. So for us here in Houston, there's over 2 million people that speak Spanish and English. And so that's an always hire for us. And the same thing when you look at the offices down there in Miami, Spanish and English is just a dominant way that you're going to be conducting business. But here in Houston, because we are the most diverse city in the United States, I want to be able to make sure that we can have these variety of different languages being spoken there here in our office, serving those specific communities that feel a little bit more comfortable speaking in those languages. You can tell that over time, the chicken scratching doesn't help. So, and then here finally is the values of our organization. It's all built on Together We Win. So we don't want a bunch of solo individuals. We're much more of an open door culture here. But what that means is we work together to be able to serve all of our clients, and it's being able to exemplify these qualities, these values. This is our culture, that you're going to be a winner. You're going to be all in and be able to focus in at being able to do what you do. We all understand we have personal lives, but to be able to put your phone on mute, so to speak, and just get the job done, choose the right or do what's right, so that way you have morality and ethics. And if you were giving out advice, or if you were working with a client, what would you want in that experience, and what do you think that they want in doing what's right? This GGB is grit, grind, and bind, the ability to get things done and accomplished, and finally having that extreme ownership. So when you're seeing certain things out there that's not even necessarily in your job description, you solve the problem, you found the solution, you're going to take care of it, right? So it's from that wonderful book, Extreme Ownership. It's see it, solve it, or see it, own it, solve it, do it. So this is kind of the method behind the madness. And I'm just trying to see how I put that in on posts kind of Monday to Friday or Sunday to Saturday. But that's just a kind of a work in progress. But wanted to give you a little bit of the thoughts behind what's going on, the method behind the madness. There you go.